Well, the boys around here don't listen to the Beatles run. Old Bo Cephas threw a jukebox needle at the honky-tonk where their boots stomp all night. What? Yeah, and what they call work a digging in the dirt. Gotta get it in the ground before the rain come down to get paid, to get your girl and your four-wheel drive. Yeah, the boys round here drinking that ice-cold beer, talking about girls, talking about trucks, running them red dirt roads out, kicking up dust. The boys round here sending up a prayer to the man upstairs. Backwoods legit, don't take no lip. Shoot a back, shoot a back, shoot a back, a spit. Oh, heck. Well, the boys around here, they're keeping it country. Ain't a damn one know how to do the Dougie. No, I'm not in Kentucky, but these girls around here, yep, they still love me. Yeah, the girls around here, they all deserve a whistle. Shaking that sugar sweet as Dixie Crystal. They like that yawling southern drawl and just can't help it 'cause they just keep falling for the boys around here, drinking that ice cold beer, talking about girls, talking about trucks, running them red dirt roads out, kicking up dust. The boys around here sending up a prayer to the man upstairs. Backwoods legit, don't take no lip. Shoot her back, shoot her back, shoot her back, spit.
Let's ride through the countryside. Let's ride down to the riverside.
Hey now, girl, hop inside. Me and you gonna take a little ride to the river. Let's ride. That's right. Lay a blanket on the ground. Kissing in the crickets is the only sound. We out of town. Have you ever got down with a do you wanna get down with a girl, you gotta get down with the boys round here, drinking that ice cold beer, talking about girls, talking about trucks, running them red dirt roads out, kicking up dust. The boys round here sending up a prayer to the man upstairs. Backwoods legit, don't take no lip. Shoot her back, shoot her back, shoot her back. I'm one of them boys round here, drinking that ice cold beer, talking about girls, talking about trucks, running them red dirt roads out, kicking up dust. The boys round here sending up a prayer to the man upstairs. Backwoods legit, don't take no lip. Shoot her back, shoot her back, shoot her back.
Shoot her back a spit. Today is May 6th, 2016. The recording has started. First things first, Oceanside, take it away.
Father, we just ask you to bless this time, Lord. We ask you to bless the people, bring peace, stability to the heart of every person. Bless Jerry, bless Iko and Art and whoever else comes on here, and let your peace reign in everything, we pray. In Jesus' name, amen.
I sure missed you yesterday when I could have used that. I was, struggling. Lord bless us. We're about to go to hell in a handbasket. We need guidance.
All you got to do is ask me, and I'll come pray every time.
Well, I did, but you were MIA, which is okay. I understand. I occasionally I have to stand on my own 2 feet. I don't like it. I'd rather stand on somebody else's, but what the hey? Let us see here. Today's going to be an interesting day. I'm looking for, there he is. Okay, I'm going to mute some people out. So when you hear it, don't be excited. All right, Art. Well,
yes,
hold
sir.
on. Hold on just a second. Not even any house cleaning today. Today, I want everybody to listen closely because I think I'm not calling it. I'm just saying this could be my last call. I'm not saying goodbye. I'm just saying this could be my last call. If it is, the subject that we're talking about today directly affects your life, my life. It's information that we're going to provide to you. Some of it is a little bit of repeat, but it's things that you need to think about closely. So, Art, please take it away. No, I didn't do the disclaimer. Hold on. Disclaimer, we're not attorneys. We're not financial advisors. We're not CPAs. This is our opinion. This is what we've heard, what we're sharing with you, not to be taken as gospel. Do your own research. And for the rest of the disclaimer, please go to the wingitcall.com. Art, I'm done interrupting. Sorry, go ahead.
It's okay. Hello, everybody. Hello, Pastor. Hello, Jerry. Hello, Rockstar, if you're on. Hello to the entire audience. And I agree with Jerry completely. Let's hope this is the last call of this nature. Hold on just a second. Let me mute my telephone. Somebody always tends to call. I'll take care of that. Blue Wolf, a little short thing here. Blue Wolf is always good to hear. He says, I must keep informing you that we are there in all aspects of this whole RV situation. Chinese are meticulously getting things done in order to avoid getting our money stolen from those vultures who predator about. And I did hear that some things happened. Some people were arrested yesterday that were trying to get their fingers in the till and continuing the cabal, part of the cabal, and they were taken care of, I understand. So that, and they do keep stopping this thing because of that. They want to make sure our money is safe, and I think it's very good that they're very aware of that, and they want to make sure when we have our money in the bank, somebody can't procure it right back out. So I'm pleased that they're doing that. He says all these predators are falling. They're being entrapped by the web of the spider, for they are falling like flies. Things shall be moving forward shortly. Where our tier is next, it shall flow without any problems whatsoever. Are we clear? Blue Wolf has a way of putting things. Have a good life. Namaste, Blue Wolf. P.S. I must insist for all to remember who you are, where you came from. Let's do right by our neighbors. Got it? I think we got it, Blue Wolf. And I know Ray Rem was kind of excited on his call today, and he was about 10 minutes late starting. He had gotten word from his bank, I guess, with some rates they gave him that I think had not been there before, although we know rates have been showing at banks, and he feels that today is it, and certainly by tomorrow for sure, kind of what he indicated. The rates were kind of like international rates. They weren't real high rates or anything, and that's okay. That's about what we've heard in the past, and we know that for the U.S. rates being offered will be higher. So I think it's time to get excited based upon what I heard, and I just heard from someone else that I heard the Republic was trying to get it through by noon Central, which is passed, and if not, the Chinese would kind of sort of try to get it done by the end of the market today when the market closes. So that's all exciting stuff, and I think I agree with Jerry that based on what I've heard so far, that's about all I can tell you, and I'm excited. So everybody else, I think, should be super excited as well, and I'll turn it back over to you, Jerry.
Thank you, Art. And Art, if you would, please mute yourself on your end.
Yes, sir.
So I got something in my eye, and no, it's not my finger. It's in there right now, but allergies. So star 2 to raise your hand, star 2 to raise your hand. Don't know how long the call is going to be today, at least an hour. After that, no guarantees. Aiko, I sent you an email. Could you please see if you've got that? And the very first thing on there, I want you to read and then give me, thumbs up, thumbs down, whether or not you even want to talk about it.
Okay, I am gonna have to mute out for about 5 minutes, and then I can come back into the call. So
okay,
carry on. Okay.
I'm carrying. Don't know how well, but I'm carrying. So today we're going to talk about post RV. Some of it we've talked about. Some of it we have not. Oh, I am not going to say that on air. Negative. Absolutely not. I tell you what, if you want me to say that on air, send me a text that says, yes, sir, I do. Because that will send absolute, I'll need oxygen from that, please. Oh, my. Woo! All I'm going to say is when you go in, the rates that you're going to be offered on the currency that you have, I'm going to give it to you in redneck ease. Your eyes are going to roll back in your head. Your knees are going to get weak. You might even pass out, and they're going to have to do CPR on you while they're giving you oxygen. And I'm just hoping they no, it did not. It was something else. You're going to need oxygen, and I'm hoping that they've got some gorgeous looking woman there to give me CPR, because I don't want some hairy-legged dude who is making noise here. Art, I'll have to mute you out there. I don't want some hairy-legged dude giving me CPR. What I'm trying to say is the rates are straight from heaven. I'm not going to say they're an ungodly rate, because that's not true. They're from Him. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that the Zim is probably going to be more than $1. And when you have your humanitarian projects in order, think about, I want you to, let me back up and take a breath here. So when you go in and you have your projects in order and they review everything and they've counted your money and they say, sir, we want to give you an offer. Before you go in, you sit down, and I've done this several times and I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to take a knee and say, Lord, put on my heart what you wish me to do with how much. Because too much is just as much as not enough. It can be a bad thing. Because then your life turns upside down because you're not prepared for the responsibilities. It's taken me since I've taken the responsibility of doing a call, I've heard the rates almost from get-go, and they keep going up. And if you haven't had time to wrap your brain around it, and even to this point, the figures that are out there, it is so difficult to wrap your brain around it. And I want you to just think of what is an obscene number. And if that's what you think you need, then say, Mr. Exchanger or Mr. Banker, this is what I'm doing and this is what I would like, because these are the things that the Lord has laid on my heart. But you better be honest, because to tell a lie and then have to deal with it, because money is a short-term thing, death and atonement is a whole lot longer. And that's exactly how I'm going to put it. Today is going to be straight up. Am I a Christian? Yes. Am I a sinner? Absolutely every day. But I ask for forgiveness, and I am trying to make amends and go and walk in a better straight line than what I'm doing now. It's a difficult task. Very difficult for all of us. And that's why I'm saying that the rates that are going to be offered to you, it's going to shock the shorts off of you, and you're going to go, sure, I'll take that. So just want you to think about that. I don't know how else to explain it. maybe Rockstar can sneak back in. I'm trying to hold this until he can come back in.
I am
but I
back.
guess you're back. I don't know if you were listening or not.
I was listening.
Okay, so can you clean up what I'm talking about, because it's not that I'm struggling.
First of all,
I'm trying to.
Are you talking about more than what we talked about this morning around 3 a.m?
Did you get the email?
I got the email, but this is all questions from folks, right?
Yes, but there was the very first part of it said, "Hi, Jerry," before even question number one, and I said, I better ask the rock star.
As far as
I didn't even.
To me. Oh, okay, right.
I thought, well, maybe just my thing is, let's just go on and leave that alone.
Yes.
Okay, so you've been listening to me about the rates that
you know
are
what
coming.
though, it probably should. Here's a simple statement, just in case folks heard that there was some friction between Dizzy Bear and WINGIT, and Dizzy Bear and me, and Dizzy Bear and other folks. I think it can be summed up that men of goodwill will always find compromise. So let everybody calm down and see where things land. And based on what I'm hearing today, we're not going to care tomorrow. So, enough said.
Okay.
Just let it go. It's not worth the energy. Do you think that sums it up?
Perfect. So,
okay.
You heard about what I've been addressing.
Yes. And what I would say to that is, you know what? Hold on, I better text you. Let me just see if this is okay to phrase it this way.
Hold. I'm going to say this.
Okay.
I'm going to send a text to my fellow Mexican friend. Can I say this? Because I do not want to get. I can step out there and say a lot of things.
All right, I sent you my text.
Okay.
See, the problem is, folks, while Jerry's doing it, the problem is that we get reports about rates, and there's no way to verify it. There's just no way to verify it. It's how much faith you have in the person giving you the rates. And depending on what rate is stated, people could know who is reporting that particular rate, and they could get in trouble. What kind of trouble, we're not sure, but it's things like losing your job or bumping into a three-letter agency. There are some very real issues out there concerning reporting of rates and of trying to pin down times. Those are the two sensitive things. So that's why we always struggle with this. But we do want people to be prepared when they go into their exchange to get the very best rate that they can, and to understand that it's the old be careful what you ask for, because in this case you just might get it, and that could change your life irrevocably. And I don't mean as in trust. I mean as you ain't going back from that point on. And do you really want that in your life? This is something that Joseph spoke to a couple of months ago. Do you really want to be, a multi-billionaire? Do you really need that kind of money? Is it, I made a list of everything that I want, and I made a list of, and I have one model from my veterans foundation, and I know exactly what that's going to cost, and I know exactly what I need to live on. And quite frankly, it's nowhere near what the projections are for this venture now. So I've started looking at other ventures, other philanthropic pursuits, and they're out there. So, what did he say?
Okay, so
what about my text as something you could ask for that would start the conversation in the right direction?
let me get back to your text here.
Okay.
Negative.
Okay. Sorry, guys. I've done my best.
Okay, so when you go in, let the exchanger or whoever's there, after they see what you have, let them offer you a rate, and call it used car salesman bartering back and forth. Okay, so I'm going to talk about that. Let us talk about what your loves are. What do you want to do? Because if you don't love what you're doing, even if you got all this money, you're going to hate yourself. I don't want to do that. You'll feel like you're stuck at a dead-end job. So here are some things to think about your having a family office. We've talked about that, about hiring in your own attorney, your own CPA, your grant writers. I know that I'm missing a couple in here. You're going to have a couple of attorneys, especially if you've got even half of Trump-like money, okay? Because people are going to want to, for some odd reason, you're going to have a target on your back and it says sue me or kick me. So just get prepared for it. Iko?
Yeah, that's a big one. I mean, we're seeing that pre-RV about getting sued. Forget about post-RV. One thing that my insurance agent told me was, when I spoke to him about this venture about 2 years ago, he said, you realize, you can't figure your insurances the way you used to insure them. This is the guy that insured my company for many years, and me personally. And he said, all of your liabilities, your insurance is your first. Yeah, for example, in an auto accident, your insurance is your first wave of defense. So instead of $1 million per occurrence, you're going to have $5 million, and that'll make most people go away because the court's not going to justify payments over $5 million. However, if you run over the proverbial 5-year-old in the shopping center parking lot, there's no amount of money that is going to satisfy that grief. So that goes beyond insurances.
Yep.
So you've got to your life is going to get larger than what you imagine life can be. So you've got greater responsibilities, both in your community, in your church, in your social organizations, among your friends and family. You've got to realize how different your life is going to be, and that even goes for folks like, somebody who's got, I don't know, let's just say somebody's got $1 million dinar. That's what they got. They don't have any Zoom. They don't have to worry about any of these crazy numbers. But they're going to make a good amount of money off of their dinar. Certainly, they'll be multimillionaires off of $1 million dinar, and your life is going to change. People are going to have their hands out. Family members who, I'll use a personal example. I think I've said 20 words to my niece's husband. He's not a man of many words to begin with. He's a very quiet guy. But I think over the years, the family gatherings, they live across the country from me. I rarely see them. Maybe every 2 years we go out for a visit or they come out for a visit. And he's just a quiet guy. I don't know this man. I really don't know him. I mean, I assume he's a good guy because my niece is a good person and she loves him, and they've got 2 kids and have a stable family. But you never know what money is going to do to someone's picture of you. That's going to be a brand new world as well, whether you're a millionaire or a billionaire. And I think now we can at least start talking to each other like we're going to be multimillionaires, at least. So all of these things come into play. Security is unfortunately going to be a big one. Whether you have enough money where you're going to actually need personal security.
Iko, I want to say something about this.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
No. I want to add in here. Rule of thumb. I'm going to be very harsh and blunt today. I don't care who you are, how close you are, what type of relationship you are, but you're an idiot and a fool if you hire family members from the simplest things, because it always goes sideways. I'm not hiring any family members. And when they ask them, I say, no, absolutely not. Well, you could do this for me. I'm not going to do that for you. You're not going to work for me. You're not going to be part of this. You need to go over here and do your thing. Because if not, you're going to have drama mama, drama daddy, drama kids, drama.
Yep.
That's the key word, drama. Do not bring family into this. And I'm talking about married couples. I'm talking low because my wife doesn't, all she wants is the finalization. I love her to death, but until it's done, we're going to be separate. And even afterwards, we're going to be separate because it just keeps the BS down to a minimum. Well, I've been married to my wife for 35 years. I know her well. Bless your heart. Separation keeps peace in the family. Well, why do you get control of this and I don't? And now I'm not talking about pulling out the man card to say, no, baby, because look at what you have over here. Money, you can't serve 2 people. You can't serve God and what's the word I'm looking for? Mammon, is that the word for money in the Bible? But you have to be responsible. Family? No. Love my wife to death. We can't work together. We can go together, but we've already made a decision that to be around each other 24/7, somebody's going to get hurt. And I don't want that. So, and I'm afraid that the hospital would be too far away for me to get to after she damaged me. So this is self-protection. Okay, now my rambling's
over. It's funny, but it's true. My wife came in and managed my office for all of 6 months when I first started my last company. And it was like, I mean, people were coming in with their hat in their hand saying, Iko, like, I don't know how to say this, but I'm going to have to leave. And what it was they couldn't take our bickering about things, even if we shut the door. It was like, oh, now it really was mom and dad are in the door talking about us. They couldn't handle that dynamic, and it's going to be the same. And it's going to be the same here. My wife and I have already had very frank discussions about how this money's going to be managed. We're each taking a chunk that is ours to do with what we please, and then there will be mutual projects. But the idea is that you can blow off steam and not do a mutual project. You got your own money, you got your own motives, you got your own set of people you like talking to. I can see it now. I'm gonna be saying, hey, I'm flying down to see Jerry for a few days, and she's gonna go, oh no, not him. That redneck Texan. Every time you come back, I have to straighten you out. You know? And we're laughing about it, but it's true. I mean, you guys know it. People who have been in long-term relationships know that it's full of compromise, and you choose your battles wisely. And this money's really going to up that ante, that's for sure. So, I don't know. You think we should go through these questions, Jared, because they look kind of interesting, actually.
Yes, I hope that everybody is not. They're going, rolling your eyes, going, "Oh my God, will they just shut up and get on with the questions?"
Yeah, exactly. Some people are. I guarantee some people are. I don't blame them.
The what?
I don't blame them. Some of them,
Yeah. Well, yeah. Go ahead. Take number one there.
Oh well, number one's easy. Jerry and I noticed this morning that the cargo ships and tankers are moving back and forth across the oceans again. What is its significance? The significance is that money is flowing internationally. I don't think it's flowing in dollars, however. But yeah, I saw that it picked up about a week ago. In fact, right after what was the day that the folks in Iraq had their sit-in? That Saturday, that was a Friday. That Saturday, worldwide shipping broke loose. And
when a body made the announcement in the mosque.
Yep. And now there are thousands of ships that are underway instead of anchored. And for months, really, it was especially off the Chinese coast. There were container ships just sitting there. A few oil tankers, and then the same thing in the Gulf, Persian Gulf. All the ships were just sitting there, and suddenly they started moving, and now it looks like business as usual. So clearly, on an international transportation level, the money has started to flow. My guess is it's because the yuan is now firmly in place out there. I don't believe it's the U.S. dollar creating this movement. So that was question number one.
Now, and I want to say this, I believe in the tanking or the shipping industry, isn't it, they got FOBs for the first 30 days, or are they due payment when the product hits the shore?
You know what? It's all kinds of things. There's letters of credits. There are bank checks that are brought up that are cut in the destination currency. There's all kinds of different things, but it is all pretty much paid for before it leaves port. Wherever it's going, it's already paid for. It's just sitting in escrow somewhere.
Right,
it's an instrument waiting to be executed.
I've heard up to they've had 2 weeks to 30 days to pay after delivery or from the day that it's loaded. They've got 30 days to pay. So I know I felt those questions coming. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Iko, just sit there and zip your lip and let me go and say this, and we'll go on to number 3. With the structured payouts, how are you free to pay the necessary taxes? This is just me. I think it's going to be a tax-free event. I've heard some things, and so I'm hitching my wagon to the tax-free event, but there'll be taxes on this down the road. Now, I think maybe somebody can send me a text. I believe there's still a 1% UST transactional fee when we go into exchange. Maybe somebody that's higher up the totem pole than me is listening can maybe send me a text. So there's number 2. Thought we'd go on to number 3. Iko.
Sorry, I just got an intel call that I think I should take. Number 3, skeleton trust. Says
you
that
need
the currency
that call?
needs to be. Well, I'll start on this question, and you can continue it. Skeleton trust. Richard from Masters Trust says that the currency needs to be in the Masters Trust before the RB for the exchange to be tax deferred. He is basing this on tax law. ICO says that if we don't have a trust and use the bank's skeleton trust to exchange into, that the exchange will be tax deferred. If we do this, it will be after the RV. Yeah, so I guess there's some semantics there. Your tax event happens when you take the currency you own and revalue it at the time of the exchange. So even though, quote unquote, the RV has happened, you haven't revalued your personal property, your currency. So if you go to the bank with your trust, that currency should already be inside of the trust. If you go to the bank and you don't have a trust and you want to use the bank's skeleton trust, and we're talking about Wells Fargo now, it's going to be the same thing. They're going to set up your trust, and then you're going to move that currency into that trust, and then it will revalue. That makes perfect sense. And also, just another thing that I saw down the line there, it's only when you have that money in the skeleton trust, you are not paying taxes on that full amount. You are only paying taxes on the interest earned, and if that interest earned is paid into your trust, it's tax deferred. You're not paying any taxes on that interest earned. It's only when you pull money out of the trust that you trigger a capital gains event. So it's short term if it's under a year, and then it's long term if it's 366 days later. The blanket, one of the blanket statements is, Wells has thought about all this stuff. They're not going to put you into a vehicle that is going to screw you. They're putting you're putting you in a vehicle that is to support you. Everybody's got to keep, I know we got to keep repeating that over and over. There's a healthy suspicion of the banks, and based on past histories, you're right, but this is a new world. This is a new banking system. This is a new currency. A lot of things have changed. You got to trust that they've changed. Okay, I'm going to take this other caller.
All right, star 2 to raise your hand. Star 2 to raise your hand. All right, let me go back over here. Let's see. It was a long question with Part A, Part B. Does all the money we exchange go into our personal trust, or does it get dribbled out slowly? So you go in, you've got 100% that you've exchanged. If you're on a structured payment, the percentage that you've agreed upon will be, I'm pretty sure, will be put into the bank's trust, and then the other percentage will be put into your. It doesn't make sense for them to dribble it out slowly. They got theirs, you've got your, and then you do all your projects out of your, and then you're going to get the interest off of both of them in the process on a quarterly payments. Hope that helps. Then where is it held? In safekeeping during the structured payout process? The bank has it. No, you can't tell them what you want done with it. That's their business, and that's why you're giving them, so many years. I want to give them as much as possible, because then that portion of the money, you don't have to worry about. They're taking care of it. At the end of the timeline, it comes all back to you. But I guarantee you, a year or two before that timeline is up, they're going to be talking, saying, "Hey, Mr. Pants, I'm breaking up. Darn it." I'll slow down on talking then. Okay. I'll even cycle cycled my phone today. You know what? We'll go ahead and take a caller here. Fort Lauderdale, Florida, 954. Come on down.
Good afternoon, Jerry. I have a
How you doing
question. If I was doing any better, I'd call my doctor.
All right. Are you trying to say you're finer than frog hair, split three ways?
I like that. Yeah, I'll say that. I'll go for that.
Okay.
We've been told that anything over 500 million on SIM will require a structured payout. Does that 500 million, let's say, is the first 500 million excluded from the structured payout or included in the structured payout?
Well, I'm pretty sure it's going to be included. Let's go on 100% of your exchange.
Gotcha. Now, when you say 100% of the exchange, does that include all the other currencies?
I think that each currency has its own structured payout and timeline.
That's what I thought. Interest, will it be compounded quarterly if it's paid quarterly?
Well, I don't know. That is a question for Mr. Banker.
Okay, thought so. Thank you, Jerry.
So, you're welcome.
We appreciate everything you do and you will continue to do.
Until I'm pushing daisies, I'm going to make an effort to do the right thing.
Always. That's the best we can do.
Not that little devil pops out on my shoulder every now and then.
We're human beings. We sin every day as human beings. We're forgiven every day if we ask for it.
And I do. Lord, forgive me for what I'm about to do.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right.
All right. Have a good day. Do star 2 to put your hand down, please. Well, let's see. Oh, come on, you stupid thing.
Jerry, I'm back.
Okay. We were over on questions. Yeah, we'll do one more here and we'll take some callers. It says it's question number 5, questions about the NDA. Oh my gosh. Oh, I thought it had like part A, B, C, and D. 1, 2.
These are good questions. The problem is nobody knows the answers to them for the most part. I mean, I know we have heard.
Hold on here.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh my goodness. I'm going down here. There's like 16 parts to this. It starts off questions about the NDA. And then there's 6 more to the subparts. Oh no. We're let's back up here. Go ahead, Iko. How do you want to?
Well, they're all really great questions. I think we should just real quick bullet the answers for them, and not get into saying what we know and then say what we don't know, because a lot of them we just don't know.
Oh, all right. We're gonna rattle through these. If you miss something, come back and listen to the call. It's 5. It's number 5 question about the NDAs with literally 20 subparts. So go with number 1 there, Iko.
Okay. So what determines whether or not you'll have to sign an NDA at exchange? We're guessing you're going to have to sign an NDA for anything over what they're going to decide is the international rate, which they haven't stated yet. You will certainly have to sign an NDA concerning them. However, I'm going to say this. Yesterday, a credible argument came up that it's too late for NDAs, that too many people know about it, that it would be ruled ineffectual, and therefore there will not be any NDAs. So there's the rub, guys. Now nobody knows which way it's going to go. The popular thought up until yesterday was there would be NDAs because the rates were going to be high and they were going to be individually negotiated. And that's why you sign an NDA, so nobody knows what you individually negotiated. Okay? Number two, what does the NDA cover? Rate, bank, exchange procedures? We don't know. We're not sure if there's a contract with the bank that is associated with the ZIM. If an NDA only talks about part of that agreement and then the contract talks about the rest of the agreement. Again, nobody knows. What is your strategy for answering nosy questions? That's a simple one. That's none of your business. And I'm telling you, the wealthy folks that I know several multimillionaires. I have my family has been friends with a family that's very wealthy. We all grew up together. We all were kids, played together, etc. And I still, to this day, and I helped this guy put his dog down one day. I mean, I'm talking. We're close. We're close. To this day, I have no idea how much money they have, and I'm never going to. It's simply not discussed. And if people don't like it, get used to it, because the moment somebody knows how much money you have, you got a whole pile of problems coming at you. So
do you want trouble? If you want trouble,
yep.
Talk. If you don't, shut up.
Yep. 4, what is the penalty for violating the NDA? I've wondered that myself. I mean, I'm assuming it's some kind of monetary penalty. You know, it's got to be. It's a civil agreement. It's not a criminal agreement. So, you know, I don't know. If you've got 75% of your wealth inside of Wells Fargo and you violate the NDA, maybe they take it all away from you. Who knows? But the trick is, or the thing is, I remember DC saying this way back on Tony's call. If you're the type that can't keep your mouth shut, don't sign an NDA. Take the highest rate you can get without it. But if you're a blabbermouth, just know yourself. Don't sign the NDA. Number 6, I would like to know if Dean Corporation Soul is still connected with neutral tax blessing. Do you know anything about that, Karen?
No, I don't even. I looked at that. Let's see, Jerry.
Ooh,
question number 7. Jerry, Art,
That's a
Iko,
good
and
one.
Pastor. What would each of you wish that we take away from this experience? And what would you hope we have received and learned as we have waited for this blessing? Okay, so I'll take the first half. You can have the last half. That I've, with all of my support, have brought you some understanding and experience with this and peace of mind. That's my biggest thing. I'm here to help. And the only way that I know that I've done a good job is, are you happy from this? I am. Do not put me on a pedestal, because I do not belong there. As a matter of fact, if you wish to, I'm going to walk away, because that's not who I am. I hope that from this experience, you've learned, because if we don't keep learning from the day that we're pushing daisies till we're toes up, we're doing us, ourselves, and our family a disservice by not. So from this experience, I hope I've shared enough with you that you can make an impact on somebody else's life. There's a roundabout way of saying that. Thank you. Next. Iko?
Yeah, the second half, what would you hope we have received or learned as we have waited for this blessing? Based on almost 40 years of being in business, of having both been successful and flamed out, both circumstances, I would say if everybody could simply learn one simple tactic in conducting their financial business, whenever someone asks you to make a decision, tell them that you'll get back to them the following day. Whatever you've got to decide, sleep. It's amazing what your brain does while you're asleep. And when you wake up in the morning, chances are the solution to whatever, or the answer to whatever problem you posed when you went to bed is going to be there. So if everybody did that, half the mistakes you're going to make post-RV are going to be eliminated. Just, you got to trust, you got to let your brain do the work through a sleep cycle. It's an amazing technique, and I guarantee you it does work. You'll find it in all kinds of books and all that other crap, but it's one that I use, and it's a beauty. So that's what I hope everybody has learned from this, or will learn from this. And there's 100 others, 1,000 others, but that's a big one. Okay. Actually, you know what? The numbers here are wrong. Yeah.
The what?
I'm saying number 8 is actually somebody else's question. It got numbered incorrectly.
Well, I think you should read between number 8 and number 9. I think that's just for you. Don't read it out loud.
Oh. Thank you. Yes. Thank you for that, Grace. That means a lot. Okay. All right. Let's go to number 8, which is actually number 1 of the next set of questions.
No, let's see. There's number 9, according to your sources. Does it look like the 800s will be given out at night while most of us are sleeping? At this point, anytime it could happen. I still go back to they probably prefer us to come in at nighttime just for security purposes to start this off. And after that, cat's out of the bag. But just to kick it off, I think maybe after dark. Hit number 10 there.
Have you heard if Chase is doing it? Yeah, let's talk about the structured payouts a little bit. No, Chase is not doing a structured payout. And that comes from a VP inside Chase. Their charter, their way of doing banking, doesn't allow them to do what he believes is a structured payout. That said, it's Wells Fargo doing a structured payout. It seems they're doing a hybrid program of simple interest against principal with a balloon payment. It's wrong to call it a structured payout. I don't know where that term came from. It might have even come from the banker himself. I'm hearing from other bankers that's really not what it is. But what we've heard, the result of it is yes, they can do that. I hope that made sense. But Chase, according to Chase, they are not doing structured payouts.
But they're also not accepting the ZIM either. So
they're not accepting the ZIM. But they're not doing the 2 billion, 5 billion thing on the other currencies, is what I'm being told. That's a Wells Fargo program on how to handle these currencies.
You got to understand, the rates are high.
The rates are really high.
Yes, so Wells Fargo has positioned themselves, if we think about it, not that I'm stumping for them or I get any payback for them. They have positioned themselves better than any other bank to take care of our needs. That's business. Do I fault them for that? No, I applaud them for it. Why? If they're guaranteeing us a certain percentage quarterly, and no, I don't know if it's compounded, that's above my pay grade right now, to take care of a percentage of it, and especially if it's high, which the ZIM is, let them take care of it. You're going to have enough. Your hands are going to be full with a portion that you have on your agreement of time frame. You keep X amount, we'll keep X amount. That small X amount that you're going to have is a full-time job. That's why we're talking about not the transaction, but the transition from paycheck to paycheck, hand to mouth. We've got to wrap our brains around what's coming. So you're going to be able to do some things that you have never dreamed of your entire life. And then you're going to go, oh my God, the webpage, my webpage, thewingitcall.com will stay up. The replay links will be there. Not a problem. You know, maybe bookmark this last one here. You can go back and listen to whichever ones you want from the date that I started putting them on the webpage. It might help you out. But your life is going to change, and the preparation started, months ago, but is really coming to an head today. That's why we're talking about this. Sorry, I'm rambling. Go ahead, Iko.
So we're not going to address 8 or 9.
Hold on. I did number 9 already. According to your sources, it looked like the 800s will be given out at night. Well, most of it. Yeah, no, I don't think we want to go by number 8 there.
No.
Once you hit number 11, that's kind of right in your wheelhouse there.
Okay, I have an LLC for a piece of property I own. Can I exchange using this LLC and set up a trust after the exchange? Are there any disadvantages to doing this? So a couple of years ago, again, I was coached because I have a couple of LLCs and an S corp. I should say I had an S corp. I shut that down. But the problem is, you set up an LLC for a particular purpose, right? You've now filed tax returns with that LLC, prepared by your accountant, I assume, to take care of that particular resource. If suddenly you dump $1 billion into this LLC you've got for a piece of property, the IRS isn't going to be real happy about that. You're going to get flagged. That was his advice. So he said, if you want to do this to an LLC, you need to start an entirely brand new LLC, which is, set up for a particular purpose, and that is to manage this wealth. And then you can do it from inside the LLC. And he also said, again, this was a couple of years ago, he said that we could park the money and have up to 6 months to set up a trust. Based on all the other information we've gotten, especially over the past 6 months concerning trust, I'm not sure if that was valid advice. I went ahead and set up a trust now so that I'm taking my money in, it's inside the trust, I'm exchanging inside the trust. So, I guess the bottom line answer to this is, if you're doing something to avoid paying taxes, the IRS is going to yell at you. How hard is up to them. But I would not use existing structures that are commercial structures like an LLC or a Chapter S or something like that have been used for one thing and then suddenly switch it to protecting a tax event with your newfound wealth. You got to start fresh. And again, if you've got, you can call an attorney and they'll give you a lot of information for free on an introductory call. Don't be afraid to do that. And if you don't get anything out of the first guy, try another guy. There's a lot of free information out there, and of course it's free. You get what you pay for it, but it would really point you in the right direction on this. So that's my suggestion on this question.
Okay, so let us take a couple callers here.
Yeah.
Baltimore, Maryland, 443.
Who's sitting there? Uh-oh.
Hello.
Did you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I hear you. Baltimore, Maryland, 443.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jerry. I didn't hear you. I'm sitting here talking to my grandson. But anyway, I apologize. Thank you guys for everything. But something I wanted to ask real quick, I didn't know if you and Iko would know, is on the skeleton trust, are the banks going to be the trustees?
I can't answer that. I don't know. I have put in an inquiry, and I've been told, go to the bank. I can't find any information out. I know, but we've addressed this.
Right.
Well, they're not here. They're not here to harm us, harm you. They want our business. Old ways. Hold on. Old ways are going away pretty quick, and new ways are coming in. Go ahead, Iko.
Yeah. I've been giving this a lot of thought. So again, this is my theory or opinion on this skeleton trust. My understanding is this is a massive trust inside of Wells Fargo. It's not just our money, meaning our individual money. It's all of the money that they collect, exchanging the ZIM and placing into this skeleton trust. We're talking, hundreds of trillions of dollars. So it makes sense that they would want to manage that. I mean, do you want a stranger? Do you want what's good for one guy in the trust and not good for you? Do you want him to take precedence? It's a great big melting pot of money. So they have to control that money. They have to.
She's talking about the skeleton trust just for herself if she goes in with nothing and then needs to get one set up.
Oh, sorry.
I'm just afraid.
Sorry.
No, I'm just afraid. I come back in, 2 weeks later and say, okay, I have my own trust, and they'll say, well, we're not releasing it or something crazy like that. If they're the trustee.
Ask them that question.
You got to ask them.
I've said before, if you've got some concerns, when you go in, say, well, Mr. Exchanger, Mr. Banker, I see that you want to give me a skeleton trust. I have some concerns and some questions. And they're there to help. They're listening to this call. I did a shout out, said, hey, I'm probably behind the curve, Wells Fargo. Let's have some, pre-exchange rooms before the exchange room. And the next thing you know, they had it set up already.
Good. So. I'm glad they're listening to you, Jerry and Iko. They need to.
No, look, Iko and myself are way behind the curve on what they're doing. They've had years. We're just catching up. That's all.
All right. Well, I guess like everything else, let's put it in God's hands.
There you go. Patience, grasshopper. Patience.
Well,
okay.
And I can tell you one way. Go ahead, Iko.
I have something to say to that. When I hear somebody say put it in God's hands, yes, ultimately that's what you're doing with everything. But I also want to suggest that, if you're driving a car down the road, you don't take your hands off the wheel and put it in God's hands, do you?
You sound like my
husband. You steer the car and you wear your seatbelt and you count on God to keep the drunk who's coming down the other part of the highway right now from crossing the median and whacking you, in the head-on collision. To me it's a cooperation. We absolutely have to have faith
Right.
that we're being taken care of. But by the same token, we don't want to be we want to be smart people managing our money. And in my experience, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, has always helped me out when I act in integrity, when I seek the truth, and I apply my brain power to the problem. That's when I get the most help. So these are great questions that people are asking, and the more education we have, the better prepared we're going to be to react to whatever comes up in these exchange rooms. We're going to have information that we can check in with, and not just be deer caught in the headlights. Whenever I hear that phrase, it always bugs me. That's why just a quick thing on that. But I also don't want to diminish God's role in our lives.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, Jerry and Iko. Bye-bye.
Yep.
So our next place, not sure where this is, but I know what state it is. I was there the other day. Russellville, Alabama, 256. Come on down. Hello, Russellville. You're in Alabama, 256. Come on down. Your line is open. Alabama. Last four of your phone number is 0116. Hello? Hello. Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay. We'll come back to them later. Now, Lord, forgive me for what I'm about to do. Sin City, 702. Come on down. Oh, I'm sorry. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Hello?
Are you talking to me?
Yes, ma'am. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
I'm not in Vegas.
7. Go ahead, ma'am.
I'm 702, but not in Vegas. I just had a request, actually, and it may sound silly to you, and it's a respectful request, please. But could we, on the Pacific Coast, ask you to please do the text a little later in the morning?
My apologies. I'm an early riser, and I was trying to get that out as I was walking out the door. I knew I wouldn't be back until almost 30 minutes before showtime, and I didn't want to miss that. I'll try to do better.
Oh, I really appreciate it. I had chest pain for about an hour after that.
Well, I tell you what. Do you have me down as paid on death to Jerry Maguire?
No, and I'm not going to either.
Well, I was just trying to help you out there, ma'am.
Thanks a heap. No, I really would. I'm sure I'm not the only one, but 20 minutes to 6 in the morning is really early for us. And you know how you feel when you wake up in the middle of the night and you get a phone call from somebody, and it could be a death in the family or something, and you just immediately freak out. So I just would really appreciate it.
Well, if I know that you had a POD in my name, I'd be texting at 3:30 in the morning, ma'am.
Which is precisely why you're not going to have it. Well, hang in there in Texas.
Yes, ma'am. So what's your question for the day?
That was it. It was a request.
I'm going to stick a note on my forehead so I remember that.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Hey,
all right,
Jerry. Somebody asked me to ask you that as well, and what I told them was if you read books written by multimillionaires and billionaires about their daily habits, you will find that most of them are up and have had breakfast and are into their exercise routine by 6 a.m. in the morning. So if you're going to be a wealthy person, you're going to have to start waking up because you're the early bird.
I know. Gary, Indiana. All right, let's address that. So for everybody on the West Coast, please get an account with a POD in the name of Jerry Maguire. And if you have heart palpitations, please send me a PM so that I know how early to tweet. No, I'm just kidding. Gary, Indiana, 219. Come on down.
Hello, Jerry.
Yes, sir.
I have a question. I gifted Dong to a person that's in college right now. He's in his third year. The thing is, if he exchanges now, it's a possibility it might mess up his financial aid that he has.
Not in a trust. If he does it in anything but his name, he'll be okay.
Oh, okay, because I was asking about the IOLTA trust, if anyone there knows about it. It's the interest on lawyers' trust account. If that would be a vehicle that he could use in order to basically, I guess, put it in the hands of a lawyer and let the lawyer exchange for him, and then he gets it at a predetermined.
Have you went to the website, the trust that I'm using, and actually read it? You can get
no,
one.
I haven't.
It's the Masters, plural, masterstrust.com, and this is trust. It's a trust set up on the IRS guidelines as we know it right now. And even if the IRS was to go away and go to something else, the trust itself is still going to function because trusts have been around before since the 1500s, because the trusts were developed and then laws were written around them. It's what I'm trying to say is you're not going to be left out in the cold. So if you go look at that one, there's case law in there. If you've got questions, it even gives you the IRS codes to go look at. Uh-oh, here we go. Wait a minute. Oh, I'm going to read this text to you that I just got, sir.
Okay.
Says hell no to lawyers IOLTA. The interest goes to the state bar. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm familiar with that. That while the lawyer has it, it goes to the state, and he doesn't have any beneficial interest until it's canceled, and it goes into his name.
If you'll go look at that trust the website I just gave you.
Yes.
It's many people listening here have already put themselves in that position to use that trust, and your son is not it's a Rockefeller type of trust. You own nothing, but you control everything, and that does not affect, or will it affect, his the things that he's receiving from grants or anything like that.
Okay. One other question. Will HSBC Bank be one that will get an 800 number for to do the exchange?
I think so.
Okay, I know that.
I think so.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much for taking my call.
You're welcome. So let's go to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, 754. Come on down.
Jerry, thank you for taking my call. I'd like to go back to the Skeleton Trust. When they get the 75% and we get the money that they let us walk away with, are we going to be responsible for paying taxes on what we walk away with if the event is actually taxed?
Correct.
All right, and then as far as the other part that they keep to invest, we'll only pay taxes on whatever we take out when we get the interest.
Correct. I'm listening because you're rattling off pretty quick. I'm trying to give you concise answers.
Okay. All right, that's all. Thank you very much.
Just remember, if you have a trust, there are many. You need to understand the full function of the trust, and you won't have to pull out money as what you're thinking to do certain things. Because when you start taking money out of the trust, that's when it becomes a taxable event. Okay?
Right. So the only time it would be taxed is, let's say we're talking about the quarterly interest payments. If we took the interest however we got it, whether it was quarterly or every 6 months, we would have to pay interest on that amount only. The principal would still be there.
Say that again, please. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Not if you have that interest go into your trust. If the bank writes the trust a check, that's a tax deferred deposit into the trust.
Okay. So basically, the trust just keeps getting bigger from the interest.
Yeah, you're looking at two trusts here, a minimum of two trusts. You're looking at the trust that the bank controls.
Right.
Which is giving a quarterly interest payment. And if you have your own trust, you have that interest payment directly deposited into your own trust. And that money's inside the trust, so it's tax deferred until you take it out of your own trust. Take it out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So at no time do I touch 75% until the period has ended. Say if we do it for 5 years or 10 years.
Yeah, and that final payment would go into your trust as well.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, so it will really be, you only will take money from that part of the money.
That's correct. And unless you take, that's how you're going to set it up. And I'm sure they're going to help you do that.
Okay.
But until you actually, if you take actual money out of your personal trust, whatever type of trust that is, then it becomes a capital gains taxable event, either long-term or short-term, depending on when you take it out. But what you're going to find with a well-structured trust, you're not going to be taking money out of that trust that often. You're going to be taking, in simplistic terms, you're going to be taking spending money out of that trust. You're not going to take money out and buy a house. You're going to buy the house from within the trust, right? You know all that. Okay. All right. So so you don't get taxed on those interest payments unless you pull that money outside of the trust.
So now the long term that you're talking about, are we talking about when we bought the currency, or are we talking about after we've let it sit in the trust for a year?
Let it sit in the trust for a year.
Okay, because all of mine right now is long term. Okay, so then we're talking about leaving it in the trust for a year. Thank you so much, Iko.
And again, don't forget, the first thing you're going to do, the first few weeks after we RV, you're going to go out and you're going to find a really good attorney to explain all this stuff to you as an expert, right? Because you don't want to rely on what Jerry and I are. This is information that we're repeating.
I got that. Yes, we will do that.
Yeah. You got to do that. You got to do that.
Thank you. All right.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks. Yep.
Oh, no. What did I do? I am so sorry. Seymour, Indiana. I accidentally put your hand down. If you'll put it back up, I'll come to you. Edmonton, Alberta, 587. Come on down.
Hey, Jerry. Hey, Iko.
Hey, how you doing?
Not too bad. Just curious, has anyone seen that Neil Keenan update yesterday?
Are you talking about the videos?
Yeah.
Watch 2 of them, run out of time to watch the other 2. How about a summary, please?
Well, it's basically Keenan says M2 told him to release the information that everything was done and signed for. They stormed the White House through the JFK tunnel. Apparently Dunford's the president, and the dinar went gold back. Apparently the Zim went gold back. The Zim rate was pegged at $11.80. Just really lots of good news. I'm just really stunned that nobody's brought it up.
Well, I do not talk about dates or rates, but you can, and thank you for that little tidbit.
That's a really good set of videos, and it's primarily the first one gives away the bulk of the info. So, and apparently he's getting it right from M2. So I tend to think between him and acknowledging Fulford and everybody betting everybody, it almost sounds to me like this is a done deal.
Well, show me the money. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, bye. If you'll do star 2 and put your hand down, please. They haven't put their hand up yet. Central Texas, 936. Come on down. Central Texas, 936.
Gary, is that you?
That is me. Is that you?
Yeah, that's me. I tried to talk to you privately, and you said you didn't know nobody named Ron, but we won't talk about that. I need to know, do we still need 2 bank accounts?
No, I know where you're going. Each currency is going to have its own deposit slip, and you should be okay.
All right. I appreciate you.
Thank
Star
you, sir.
2 again is what you got to do?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Here we go. Where did it go? Oh, no. Oh, there it is. Anchorage, Alaska, 907. Come on down.
Hey, can you hear me?
Redneck lover, redneck kisser, or are you a redneck hugger?
Rednecks make the best. Fill in the blank.
There you go.
So I have a question similar to what was asked, but I'm just, I'm kind of coming to trust Wells Fargo based on everything that's been said over the last couple months. And the idea of the skeleton trust seems practical, and I'm sure it's set up just to serve and facilitate people moving through and, on to setting up their own entities. So I'm thinking it's all fine to go ahead and possibly transfer my money out of there into whatever I create after. But because we're setting up the structured payouts, then I'm wondering if that kind of makes me stuck in their skeleton trust as far as, making those arrangements. Or is that kind of separate from the trust itself? I'm just not that educated as far as trust goes.
Aiko? Uh-oh.
I'm here. Yeah, the first of all, well, we can't make that assumption. So first of all, if you don't meet the threshold, which we're being told is $500 million, okay, so we have to use that when we discuss the structured payout. If you've got more than $500 million and 25% of that, or excuse me, 75 to 90% of that is going into the Wells Fargo structured, the skeleton trust with a structured payout. Have you calculated what your quarterly interest payment is going to be?
I love the idea of the structured payouts, and I'm definitely going for the 100 years myself. So I like that.
Okay, great.
In researching trust, I have come up with one that I feel is just fabulous and simple and sound, over the years. So because I don't know the kind of trust that they're doing there, I thought, I could go ahead and have that be my trust. And I was going to do it prior to going in, but I heard a little cautionary tidbit here and there about getting it done right. And because it's irrevocable, I found some other people that are a little more versed in those laws to go ahead and help me set it up after. I just don't have the funds to do it prior. So while worst case scenario, it sounds like the 75% would be stuck in the skeleton trust and probably be fine. Ideally, I, had this, plan to go ahead and just have it wrapped inside of this trust that I consider to be very sound and simple.
Okay. So what is your question then? It sounds like you've got it pretty well thought out.
Okay, so is the answer really that we don't know if we'll be able to transfer it out of that skeleton trust? Given
No. You know what? I got a feeling we won't, because my understanding is what we're doing is we're becoming members of this gigantic holding trust, with hundreds of trillions of dollars in it, and we're just one member of that gigantic group of currency of whatever wealthy people. So we're not going to be able to move it out until the agreed term, the term we've agreed to, is up. And that term, remember, the longer we leave it with them, the better the interest rate. And that's why I brought that up. I mean, if you simply have that quarterly interest deposited directly into the trust that you want to use, you're going to have an incredible amount of money. I mean, just think about the first year's interest on that much money, what you'll have after a year, what you'll have after 2 years. And that money within your own personal trust is also getting interest. And I'll bet you can make a deal with Wells Fargo to have them manage that money, but you're the trustee now. It's your money, but you can negotiate interest. It really is a fabulous opportunity to have your money grow at a phenomenal rate with no risk. If Wells Fargo goes down, the world goes down. Look at it that way. And we'll all be driving around in Mad Max machines. I just wonder. Whenever I've got a spreadsheet, right? Jerry and I play around with this spreadsheet all the time. But when we plug in these rates and we look at the amount of interest we're getting quarterly, I mean, it's like it really hits home. The reality of having this kind of wealth really hits home.
It's the interest you're getting is oh my God money.
Yeah. So if you're putting it into your own personal trust, you now have even though you only have 25% of your original exchange working for you at that time, it's just well, I shouldn't say that. That's the wrong statement. You've got your personal trust working for you. You've got the Wells Fargo trust working for you, and the combination of those two quarterly interest payments is absolutely, it's oh my God. Does that make sense to you? Do you know where I'm coming from on this?
When you did your first call where you made the examples of the interest rates accruing quarterly, it was very clear, and that's when I decided, I'm in, and each time you bring it up, it's a fabulous and exciting reminder of the abundance rolling out. So it's very, very clear. And right now, I've become more confident in that, I really don't need to have that 75% come out of the Wells Fargo trust that they've created. Because like you said, this is a bank backed by the people that are putting these funds out to begin with. So,
exactly.
They have a century-long plan with this transition period into this next chapter for the world, for humanity. So this is a solidly thought-out trust. And in the worst-case scenario, I've got that 25%, which is a massive amount in the trust that I think is a good idea, even though I have no experience in trust. So perhaps diversifying into those two is not a bad idea,
right.
given how solid Wells Fargo is. So I do feel better about it. I started stressing out that I need to do a last-minute thing, and I felt like, oh my God.
Yeah, that whole stressing out thing is
yeah, that's what I thought I'd call. So now it's done.
Going back to the question, I forget what number question was. Well, what would we have you learn from this? Another thing that we all, myself included, okay, what we all have to bear in mind is, as wealthy people, we can take our time. Everybody else is waiting for us to make the decision. It's not the other way around. There's no pressure here. You know, I mean, the only pressure is when if you're one of these people who wants to buy a lot of toys, there's always going to be somebody else out there who wants to buy your toy. But as far as the things, the truly meaningful things in life, we now have the luxury of time. Even if we're 90 years old, it doesn't mean we have to make the decision tomorrow. We can sit back and let things unfold, and watch how they unfold. That's another gift that we're being given here. We can take our time. So by all means, take your time. Take your time.
It's been an interesting process, going through having these front row seats to this reset, coming into public view, in that I noticed that my mentality and my perception and my panic or my relaxation and exhilaration just waffle back and forth. It's like switching between two worlds, the old dissolving world and the new emerging world, and the mentalities that go along with either. So I'll switch, where I'm just elated about what's coming. I'm grateful. I'm in a place of abundance and receptivity and allowing myself to be a channel for whatever, I'm to be used for contribution in the world, And
right.
And then I'll switch back to being like, I need to protect the funds and be careful, and the government's been corrupt and whatever. So it's just kind of a back and forth. So I like your reminder to you can relax and stay over in that new side of the fence. It really is trustworthy. So
all
I
right,
appreciate
ma'am.
that.
Thank you very much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Okay. Last caller, and I see they call back in. Seymour, Indiana, 812.
Hey, Jay.
Hello. Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Another call.
Pretty good.
Hey, I got a question. There's some things that I'm wanting to do, and I was just thinking, wouldn't it be smart if the bank would do this? Because I'm talking about quite a bit of currency that I'm going to be exchanging here. I was wondering if the bank would loan me money against my own money, because there's like I said, there's some things I want to get started, some humanitarian efforts and things, and I don't want to wait a whole year to get the ball rolling. Would they loan me X amount of dollars on my money because they know that that I'm good for it?
I don't see why not.
You're talking about
okay.
The 75% you're going to leave in the bank?
Well, I'm probably going to leave 75% with them, and then talk to them about managing 20% of the 25%, and then I'm going to have another manager that I know manage another 5%.
No, I'm sure they'll work with you on anything you want, especially when it involves them making money.
Okay, now I've got receipts and everything that I purchased currency, but I do not have it in my hand right now. And I won't have it in my hand for probably about another 2 weeks because it's stuck in customs. Will that be a problem?
Shouldn't be.
Yeah, I don't think that's a problem either. That's more for tax purposes, those receipts. It's not for exchange purposes.
Okay, because if they say, well, this is the amount we're going to give you, and I can say, well, I can bring you the other currency once I get it in the mail.
No, and that way
that's different.
No. What you have in hand is is the rate you're gonna. No, there's no coming back in and that amounts to like double dipping, even though you can prove it. You get to do what you have with cash in hand, and that's it.
Oh, okay. And then the other currency, I'd get whatever the rate is that they're paying at that time.
Right.
Okay. All right.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, guys, and appreciate your all's call.
All right.
Thanks.
Pastor, wake up. Put
Thank
the
you,
chicken
Father.
down.
I'm awake.
Put the chicken down and back away.
I am awake. I was ready to start my prayer right there. I tell you, I'm on the spot. Father, in Jesus' name, thank you for everything that's been said. Lord, bring peace to the heart and trust in the heart of every person, Lord, and help them. Bless their life, Lord. Let not one of them fail by giving up and quitting before this thing manifests. Lord, bring it to us. We thank you for it in Jesus' name. Amen.
I want to thank everybody again for allowing not only myself, but for Deacon Iko and Pastor and everybody that has contributed, because the callers, yourselves, are the one that drive this event. Thank you very much for allowing us to bring a little knowledge to you. So at that, it's time to say goodbye. Say goodbye, everybody. Goodbye,
Bye,
Iko.
everybody.
The conference is now completed. Goodbye. Welcome to the conference.